Well, hello everybody. This should give away where we are. We are in Cornwall. Pretty much can't get much further south in the UK, and we are with Teagle. Now, Teagle have invited us to take a look around their factory. So, coffee down. I have been before I start my walk round. So this is typical of us when we come in somewhere. We just take over. Health and safety first. I better take my phone in case of emergency. I've got a proper induction to the site. I need these bad boys as well. Not just yet, I don't think. So let's go. So we're going out then. So there we go. This is kind of like a little bit of a really good time to be around Teagle, because here you have their brand new range, 8200 Tomahawk. You can see there's some outgoing ranges, some incoming ranges. Look, everybody knows Teagle from the point of view of what they make, some of their different products. We're going to take a wee walk in through their business. These guys literally do everything themselves. And away down here, they're one of the largest employers in Cornwall, but not only are they one of the largest employers in Cornwall, finding skilled workers down this part of the world is hard, so they have fantastic apprenticeship programs, and I've got to tip my hat to them on that. Glass time. So when you come into like the first big shed, you can see lots of room, lots of plasma cutting, lots of steel in here, all getting lifted up into the plasma. And the effort that these guys go to get the absolute most out of a sheet of steel is quite phenomenal. And they get quite annoyed when they have too much wastage. That's one of the things they try to really limit here. And but I suppose at the premium you have for steel, we don't want to be wasting it. Now, it's hard to do circles without a bit of wastage, but that's essentially what's going on here. So that's what's happening. That's just so effortless. With any manufacturer, painting is a massive, massive issue. I don't want to say problem, but these guys are working now with a brand new automated paint line. They're working the full powder coated system, primer, and obviously top coat or 2 coats. But one of the hardest challenges is getting paint when you have really, really sharp edges. Now look, it's this machine here, and it's ridiculous amount of money from memory. It's literally everything that's passed through here. Well, absolutely happy to run my hand and fingers down. It's smoothing off all those edges and leaving it so that paint can get that catch in at that edge where it needs to be. So these guys here are bending all these different panels, very, very precise, but everything's getting checked and checked and checked and checked. Here's the main man here. Look, what are you doing now?
Covers for rams.
And they make the rams here as well.
Yeah, they make it.
So you're turning this. Show me how it's done. So hold her up tight.
Yeah.
Kick the pedal.
Yeah.
But she won't need much pressure to bend this one. Yeah. So just nice and easy.
Yeah. Hold it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Straight down and again. It's just come down to a side point a bit. Pedal again. That way.
Yeah.
So on the front one now.
Oh, on these ones now.
Yeah.
And this.
That way.
This way.
Yeah. Into the front, so it just touches the front one.
Machining.
That's it. Good job. That's it, bad for me.
Cheers, buddy. That was actually really, really therapeutic. I could actually make a job. We've only walked in sort of to the first shed there, and there's a lot of doing everything themselves, and I just love that style about manufacturers. You know, a lot of the times when we go to places, there's so many bought-in components, and the assembly lines are fascinating and brilliant, but when you actually see these guys putting that effort in, bending everything, doing everything, there's very, very, very little that these guys don't do themselves. Everything is assembled in here in kit form. So having your shed in the middle like this here is very, very important, so that these guys here can collect all their things, put them together into kits, move them forward for the guys next door to start and put together. Predominantly our Tomahawk range in here. So we're heading now. This bit here is mostly assembly, and as we come out round here, welding. Obviously all our covers are vital. You can see this guy in here through the curtain. You know it's good when the chalk's out.
Yeah, I'm just packing these up with the robot.
You leave it ready and then the robot just fills in.
That's it, yeah. Yeah, I literally prepare everything, make sure it's all ready, make sure there's no gaps for the welder, the robot to blow through.
Good man, all the best. Oh, I can see the hand movement. All is good. Just love the smell of welding, it just gets you going. And as we head down here, we have a couple of robots. See if we can sneak a shot of the robot doing its thing without looking at it. Mint. Practically everything comes in, frames welded together, drums, Craig's camera, and this here would be one of the preparation. So everything can start to get hung up here in preparation of heading down the line towards the shot blaster. And the new paint system that these guys have put in is pretty incredible. So you can walk down through. As you can see, we have the track in here. So you can start and prepare, get everything hung up, and head down this way. So we follow the line all the way down, and comes round the corner here, comes through the shot blaster. Oh, the heat in here with the ovens, out the other side, turns the corner, and I've come in, because it was so busy during the actual paint session, I've just come in after they've sort of shut it down for a bit, so I can walk around and not be in the way. So it's all on a clean down now. So these guys here, cleaning it all down, and it absolutely, look how clean this plant is. It's phenomenal. Goes down through that system. This in here's an oven. There's actually a double oven system. I think that oven is about 170 degrees. Then it passes on round and gets either the yellow, which we know the Teagle for, or the red. And that's that first oven there. So it'll come out of there, number 2. You can look at the coverage on the primer with your sharp edges. So it's considered not that hot at 170 degrees, I think. Then when the primer coat or this top coat comes round, follows the track round in here, then it gets its red coat on the powder coating system. And then it's back in the oven, and it's back in the oven at 200 degrees and double the time. So I think the first time it's in for something like 18 minutes, just to get her hardened up a bit enough for the next coat, and then the next time it goes in, it's in there fully baked, something like 35. So it's just everything getting constantly sucked back in, and all the powder, everything that's not used, It's sucked back up. It's hard to show it completely, but we'll do our best. Gets brought back up, lifted back up in, filtered, recycled, and then can be added back into the paint system. A shocking investment, but in my opinion, really, really, really well worth it. It all gets checked to make sure paint quality process is right, travelling back into more like the assembly lines. This in the background here is the original, where the paint line was, the original blaster. It's sold, it's gone, and then this area here gets turned into another production line, because obviously with growth you need more space. And they have a wet painting line as well, and they can do some of the bigger items by hand, which again is done via 2-pack paint as well. And now we're starting to see the machines that we all know and that we all see. Our tomahawks. And listen, we have a lot of different numbers, a lot of different ones in action here. So they make their own rams, obviously have their drum, their knives. So this is the test. This will let you decide for yourself, guys, whether you fancy being a bale of straw or not. Here she comes. That's us getting the PTO in gear. Yeehaw! You sneaky boy. He had this one tested earlier. What machine's that going on?
That's a 505.
That's a 505. And is that straw only, or is that straw and silage?
Straw only.
Straw only.
Yeah.
And what's the difference for the ones that can do the silage?
That was a totally different rotor.
Totally different.
Rotor, yeah.
Have to get a look at some of these in action, you know. And some of their new exciting products, I think they have a batch of 30 coming through of their new 8200s, Tomahawks, which is actually quite exciting. There's a few notable features. So comes in now to the assembly line. Well, that looks like galvanizing to me. Galvanized nuts and bolts. So all galvanized nuts and bolts?
Yeah.
Just so there's no rust on them when you screw them on. So this is the beginning of a...
This is the bed, what gets built on there. The bed gets built over here.
Yeah.
On this section here.
Yeah.
Obviously, the bottom half of the panels go in. Obviously the floor panels.
Yes.
They go in, and obviously you put your wiring in, comes on here to build the slats.
Build it.
And then from the
transfers onto the line. And is this an 8200?
Yeah, 8200, yeah.
So this is quite exciting, because this is one of the first batches of the 8200s to go through.
Right.
Mint. So axles are a bought-in product, one of the very few bought-in products. So this is the floor. Obviously, at this stage, the rotor is going on, and we can see the rotor getting attached, the bits and bobs set in there, which I'm assuming you have the crane here that can swing it around and set it on. So this is the rotor of your 8200, and he's putting all the blades on. He's a dangerous man. Obviously it gets swung and set on here. We've got our wheels put on, and this is the beginning of our 8200. due to new homologation rules, no surfaces. Now, I think Teagle are actually ahead of their time here, so they have to be at 45 degrees angle to prevent climbing. And that's why we have this here now. So that's to keep you from being able to, in theory, climb up onto that to look at something. And we haven't got that length yet, but when we get up to the mud guards, we'll see the mud guards are on at that angle as well. So when this unit gets set on here, you can see the ram made here as well, ironically. This is a little bit of a sensor so that when you're feeding in the bale and you're putting in another bale, she can memorize exactly where she was and pretty much get you back there. It's pretty cool. The 8200 will do both straw and silage, and then you move up to a newer product which is coming and going to be launched at Agritechnica, an 8250, which is dual chop for straw only. Some nifty work coming, but this here is going to be Teagle's one of their bread and butter products, and I think some of the only bought-in parts used here is our gearbox, our hydraulics, which is from a local company, and they're still operating with their Wi-Fi system. Walter Shield dry line shaft as well. So got the stickers applied. As we can see, Teagle have changed it up a little bit, went away from the yellow writing, went back towards the white writing and the red, and I think just that subtle things is just really helped. No pressure, no pressure.
I'm going to cook it up.
Can he get it straight first time?
There's no answer to it.
The white stickers fairly freshen it up, don't they?
They do, yeah, they used to be yellow.
Yeah.
These are better.
So this is the moment of truth. It now becomes a Teagle machine. Oh, stay on, letters, stay on. What is it, what is it, what is it? It's a Teagle. Thank you very much. Got a little control panel here, obviously floor forward, floor back, up, down. And they've moved away from the metal guards, so we've on our plastic guards, but it's bringing a little bit of grey into it, and it's actually, in my opinion, really getting the style. Ah. So, we have a new style control box. Huh? That's quite nifty. So, we can speed right down from 0 up to 10 for floor speed. Pause play. We can, this is a function for the 8250 that's come. We can have two memories, A1, A2, obviously basic controls, manual, and that's quite cool now. That's a good job. One of the things I was told about the new amalgamation rules, have to get all angles at 45 degrees and all maintenance points, so all grease points have all been changed in this new series so that everything's pretty much accessible from ground level.
Yeah, we've got a lot more remote grease points now, so access grease points here rather than the guard and getting in.
And that's one of the reasons that these are made with a 45 degree angle, so we can't step up on them.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow, thank you. So here we have one coming off with the very engineered for professionals, your British quality, and that's your 8200 Tomahawk. This one's heading off to Ireland. That's her pretty much ready to go. So this is our 8200 Tomahawk getting its first run on the test rig. We're ready. So Bossman here is on the new controller that we looked at earlier. Slowly getting this wound up. Oh, he's giving her the beans now. Let's hope everything works. Yeah. He's working the door. And how you move that door with the hydraulic ram over here, I think is all part of how you can sort of work with chop length and putting things through fast. Look at that for optimising space and transport. PTO shaft left, mounts on. See the way that ram lifts that up in its groove there? That's pretty nifty. Did she pass? Yahoo! She's good, boys. Tested, passed. Ready to rock and roll. What more could you ask for? And over here, we make some of the bigger ranges. So if they're 9,000 and up into your 10. And a lot of these bad boys be exported all over the place. Heavy duty. That's this part of the factory. Let's go and see what else we can see on our little tour around. How cool. So we have another big machining shed. Take a wee sneak in round now if I can. So again, loads of metal coming in, getting cut, set, all into their sizes, whatever they need it to be. Goes through a big massive dishwasher over there. I know, I'm sorry guys for using the untechnical term, but basically a lot of your bought in steel be a little bit oily and things like that there, and so everything before it gets put into use gets, as you can see what I mean, gets washed, really cleaned off, and that's where ultimately, before it heads in towards that new paint line, they need everything to be kind of perfect. So that's like a massive big dishwasher. You can see here, a lot of action going on. That's what's going on in here. And this little bit last night was running a night shift. Sometimes they can get a little bit behind in certain aspects or certain departments, so they have a few different guys that's very, very highly trained, and they can come in and push through different bits just to keep the whole thing going. So that's what's happening in here. These are all bits that have been made out, look. And we're not joking when we say they make their own rams. So are you the official ram maker? He's kilt with the busy, sitting there eating all the time. Oh, I can't really accuse anyone of that. So like, it's not often you go to a company, like, let's be honest, that actually still make their own rams.
I know, yeah.
These guys, and now this is what I've been saying, like to the cameras, like these guys really try to do absolutely everything.
Like literally everything there is all made now.
Like every part of the ram.
Yep.
This is all. So, what bit did you make?
So,
Or you're putting it all together? I'm sorry, I really shouldn't be annoying you in your lunch.
so that gets made here, that gets brought in, but it all gets machined.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And then that gets made here, that gets made here, that gets made here.
Made. So the only thing bought in is the ram shaft, for want of a better word. And
then I weld it onto that.
that's your bit.
Yep.
You did that weld?
Yep.
The boy can weld.
Yeah. You seem surprised.
Yeah. Oh, that's
So,
nice.
yeah, so that all gets made here. So in a minute, there's somebody else coming down in a minute, and then I've welded up these ones ready to go.
These are ready to rock and roll.
After break, once they cool down, because they're too hot at the minute, for the seals. So that all got, you buy the actual tubing, and then all the machining gets done here. That gets made here. These little components here get made. Then I weld all the components on, weld that on, and then after break, that all becomes one.
Yes, once you can get the seals and all put in together as one. And then I'm assuming tested.
Yeah, you literally then go on a test rig, and then goes up to 3,000 psi.
3,000 psi is your test?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Enjoy your lunch.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And that is what I mean about doing literally everything. As much as these guys can do. Yes, you have a bought-in pump. That's important. You look inside this here, you would believe everything in here, that's like a bought-in piece, but it's actually not. It's actually not. Absolutely mental. Anyway, lunchtime for me too, apparently, according to Ruth, so going ahead and get some lunch, and then I'm going to take a run through the other assembly lines that they have, so peace. We've come down into another part of the factory just to give you a nice generic shot. Lovely big building. This is where the bigger stuff gets done. Maybe the flagship style products or the likes of the big Titan muck spreader. So they have a separate shot blasting station and spray booth, all contained for painting. One of the products that Teagle make, which I would call their flagship product, is their C calibrator C12, or I don't know the complete technical term of it, but this is the big machine. Hello, this is the big machine, really for heavy duty contracting use. So this is it at the very beginning of the stage. The build is about to go on, and this particular one is for Kazakhstan. Wow. Oh, this is actually quite clever. This is one of their new electric driven Tomahawk E, I think they call it, which is literally, they can put it on its own station, plug it into electric, and actually she'll operate and run herself. There's a mounted 8200 ready to head out, and there's a 404M, which is one of the smaller, and M is for mill, so I think that's what's for mill. So basically when you're up in your rotor, you can put in different screens, and you can have the screens from like something like 13 mil right up to, is it 200 odd mil or something along those lines, and they're all Hardox plates. And if you do that there, you can really beat that straw up. So that's how she gets shipped out, ready to go. Class. Here's an interesting product. I think it's called the Telehawk, and that's purely for your telehandler to run through your hydraulics. And Farmer Gareth has actually just took delivery of one of these through Jared Kennedy, our local Teagle supplier, and I didn't even know he was getting it, but he's just taken delivery of one of these exact machines here. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes for him, and we'll have to get an opportunity to see and get it working. So that'll obviously be going on the old Merlot. Some fertilizer sowers in there to be built up, put together. Whoa, there's the big boy, the 1010. So essentially, if I've got this right, the 1010 is your 8200 that we spent a bit of time looking at, only on a much bigger scale, probably closer to the outgoing 8100. But yeah, that's a big old yoke there. So this is another part to what Teagle does, all their mulchers and more style bits and pieces of kit that they bring in, badge it up and bring it in, and they work as the distributors. So we're seeing some of their toppers here. They've all ranges of toppers. And whoa, there's the big boy. So you have the Tomahawk 505 XLM mill, and extra long means you've got the big extensions on, so you can get your big square bales battered in there, no problem, no problem. Whoa, that's a, whoa, whoa, class. Whoa, look at the amount of toppers here ready to go out. Everything from mounted, side mounted, up to 9 foots. 8 foot topper 8 is the topper. Wow. It's not really something I was paying much attention to, but yeah. Straightforward, boys. Straightforward. My inner strengths. So when you see this color of like orange, that's your birthday equipment that Teagle take on, and you see that in a vast array of mulchers, maybe diggers, tractors, whatever heavy duty stuff. This is a very important building. I was sort of saying this is a very important building, but everybody must be away on their holidays.
No, important stuff.
Where's Duncan? There's Duncan.
I'm still here.
Aye, Duncan's still here. He never gets to leave. They just lock the door and throw him in a scrap of food every so often. Keep him going. This is the hub for the brains. What all is happening in here, Duncan, as an example, product improvement, working out how to get the most out of a sheet of metal.
So yeah, product design, product improvements, so all the new projects that we're making are being designed and developed in here. We've got other sides to that. There's a lot of support work needs to go into that in terms of parts books, instruction books, drawings, all the drafting, all the
like writing all the manuals and all happens in here. All the most boring part of anything. Wow.
Lee's our manufacturing engineer, so he goes out, resolves issue with jigs and fixtures.
That's him there. And like I know I'm saying this to camera, but Teagle, from what I can see and being around a lot of factories, and what I really like about it is you just don't like buying anything from anywhere if you can physically make it yourselves.
Yes.
But I like that. Because a lot of factories would be going to now and looking round, Duncan, is things like, they're just assembly lines, glorified assembly lines, whereas here is the real deal, right down to the rams.
Everything was sheet metal to turn the CNC
Yeah.
parts, all on site.
Like ultimately you're only buying in your pump, your pumps, your hydraulics, your electronics for your Wi-Fi or whatever you're doing.
Even the valve comes from, that's a Devon valve.
That's pretty good now. So this is where it pretty much all happens. Everything in here is from product design to.
People will be out into the factory. It's not
Yeah, I do see them out about all morning, out in wee huddles, looking and seeing what they can do. So, guys, thanks very much for your time. Been much appreciated. Have a great time. So Teagle started many years ago, and they have a bit of a collection. This is what Teagle are known for doing. I think they built their own engine back in the day. They put it on mowers. 1957 Teagle Jetside 50cc 2-stroke engine. Mint. And they made the first ever rotary mower that was for sale. That's what I've been told. I'm sticking by it. I do believe it. Look at this bad boy. This was in conjunction with Still. So Teagle and Still came together. Imagine that in the public domain now. That's hardcore. Fantastic. So fantastic history at this company, fantastic legacy of products from bygone day, and they still work with their mowers. That's a bit of a tour around the bases of the factory. Hope you enjoyed the wee walk around with me. Getting ready now. I think we're going to go on the farm, see some of the new products working. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell.